Today I'm going to be explaining in a couple of minutes why player base is dropping from Diablo 4 and why it will continue to drop to it soon becoming a niche game. Now I'm doing this because I constantly see in my video feed 30-40 minute videos explaining this exact thing, and I don't feel it's that complicated. As you can see, I do have as much time as anyone played on the game. Maybe a couple people have more than me, but I spent a lot of time on the game. Now, getting into some of these reasons on why player base is dropping, to start off with, overlooking a lot of things at launch, like stash issues, playing for multiple characters, not taking into account that many people would want to do multiple characters, gem storage for everybody, limiting rewards for hunting down treasure goblins early game, things like that, putting in uber uniques that only a couple of people could manage to acquire in the first month of gameplay. Ultra rare items aren't inherently bad, but if they're so rare that there's not a real chance of ever acquiring them, that is bad. Another major reason I feel a lot of player base has dropped off the game is they're constantly changing what's meta. Nobody likes constant changes, especially when it makes them have to revamp their builds and change what they've already done and regrind it for. Granted, I feel they are working towards balancing and they're getting towards a balanced game. Don't feel they're 100% there yet. I do feel that there are a lot of players that have already lost interest due to the amount of rebalancing and changing towards what's meta that they'll never reacquire, or maybe they have a chance at reacquiring them on season 2. Next reason, we have most classes have very limited build paths for what's able to do endgame content. Meta is required for endgame content with Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 provides no clear path in game to show you what meta should be and how to utilize it. Personally, I have no problem with this because I prefer to play blind and I don't watch gods on YouTube or Twitch, but this forces everyone else to have to do research on what is best, and the best keeps changing. The next reason I feel player base has dropped slightly is because seasonal content requires a restart. This is information all the hardcore fans already knew. They stay up on the devs and the campfire chats. Diablo 4 has a massive new player base that have never touched Diablo or played or dabbled a little bit in Diablo back in the day. And they're not those players, for the most part, that are staying up on everything the devs say. And nowhere in the game does it tell you for seasonal content that it was going to require a restart. So if you didn't stay up on all that information, you were not aware of that. Had introduced to many people that had no idea that the seasonal content would require a restart. This may have worked 20 years ago, this concept, but people today are generally not fans of restarting progress, and more so fans of New Game Plus, where they keep everything or at least most of what they have acquired and now get to face harder challenges with mostly like new campaign challenges. If it's PvP, new maps, something new to do and something new to acquire. Next reason I feel player base has slightly dwindled is because, like in any game, once standard content has been beat, new DLC or seasonal content, same thing, has to be intriguing enough to hold player base interest from progressing to a new game or bring them back from another new game that they've already started. I do not feel that Diablo has done this with Season 1. Season 1 to me felt like a 90% restart and 10% new content. The main new thing in Season 1 can't even be brought back to the Eternal Realm. And honestly, if somebody can answer this question, because I have no idea why, if you're going to continue with a seasonal path, why would you ever play Eternal? It just doesn't make sense to me. And if you're only going to play Eternal, you're eventually going to get bored with the game. So I just don't see the point of it. I feel like they kind of tried to split the difference between keeping people interested in Eternal and keeping people interested in Seasonal. But if they don't go all out with Seasonal on the next one, they're just going to lose most players. The next reason I feel player base is dropping is because Diablo 4 may be the only thing for many hardcore Diablo fans. but Diablo is not a franchise that releases the next one every year or bi-yearly. Diablo 4 has had a massive player base that never played Diablo previous to Diablo 4, or maybe they played a little bit of Diablo 1, Diablo 2, or Diablo 3 back in the day. They haven't played Diablo in many years, is what I'm getting at. With the amount of mistakes of how Diablo 4 has had at launch, with a good deal of buffs, nerfs, changes, tons of revamps, patch updates that are like 100 different items in it, multiple ones at this point already. A good deal of these new players will not be returning, or might at best give Season 2 a chance if they feel there's nothing else better to play at the moment. And once you lose new players, it's really hard to get those players back. In conclusion, I will bet that Diablo will retain a large player base for the next few weeks, but if they don't release a really cool Season 2, so cool that it brings back players like myself that have basically written off the game, I do feel the player base will soon evolve into a niche player base. If you have any comments, post them. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, share. It helps others find the video. I hope this helps.